Hey guys. Okay, so I just wanted to say how excited I am with the group that was there yesterday. We are super excited and are so happy to be working with you. So one of the things, there was a question asked though that I don't feel like that I answered. Um, as well as I could have. And it was the question about kind of like giving notes. And here's the thing, like with secondary kids, like we're going to have to give explicit notes sometimes. Like sometimes we have to give them information. So it's not that we're never going to give them the information, like specifically and directly. Of course, we want them to interact and stuff with the information, but it's not going to always be like this perpetual state of discovery, right? Like sometimes we need to tell them what they need to know. So the difference is that instead of telling them what they need to know and having them copy it down in just like bullet points, like just straight bullets, like normal notes, what you want to think about is how do you want them to think about the information you want them to learn? And you want to give them the notes in that format of how they're supposed to be thinking about it. So if you're talking about some like and everything, every bit of especially essential information that we're wanting them to go falls into those 8 categories, those 8 cognitive sort of thinking skills. So that's what we need to think about as the adults is, well, how is it I want them to think about this information so that when I'm giving it to them, they're able to visualize the concept I'm asking them for. So if I'm talking about like the causes of World War II, right? I could just list out a bunch of causes and stuff, but instead I'm going to talk like I can look how easy like cause number 1, right? Cause number 2, cause number 3. And so in their notes, you're having them draw this map that shows a causal relationship with all the things that led up to World War II or whatever it is, right? If there's a process that you're trying to explain to them. And so this is the multi-flow map. There's a process you're trying to explain to them. Same thing. It's like instead of just like listing it out, you can sequence it out with the sequence map, right? So it's about it's accessing those visual accessing the visual cues that is going to help them remember, like when I'm talking about this content, instead of it being just a bunch of jumble of words up here, it is here I can oh, there's a process here. And if it makes more sense for a sequence map to go down, then do it that way. So you're thinking about like, how is it that I want my kids to think about this information that I need to give them explicitly? Because sometimes we are lecturing, sometimes we are giving it to them explicitly, right? And so that's your task is instead of just it being this like bullet points and bullet points and bullet points. So by the time they're done with their 15 minutes of listening to you talk, it's just a bunch of writing and there's nothing visually that they can connect any sort of processes or any sort of anything with what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you would think about taking notes in class. It's not always this perpetual like state of discovery for kids. Um, you could even have them start out by giving them whatever the concept is and giving them a bunch of kind of notes about it. And then from the notes that you gave them in here, tell them, okay, looking at all the stuff that we just talked about for this thing, now can you figure out how some of these things might go together and have them then think about the stuff that you just explicitly gave to them, right? And they're like, oh, these 3 things seem like they would go together. And then these things seem like they would go together. So we'll keep practicing this. We'll keep practicing this and any questions that you have. That was just one of the things that I just didn't feel like I answered it comfortably. And after thinking about, well, how do I do it in my class? Because I do explicit sort of note taking from time to time. It's a little bit rare, but at the beginning of something, maybe especially. And that's how I do it. I make sure whatever I'm having them copy down, whatever I'm having them do, I'm doing it in the way I want them to then think about that information. So when they go to recall it or look at it, they have more than just a bunch of words kind of jumbled in there. All right, guys. So let us know if you have any questions. We are more than available to help at any time that you need us. And like I said, we're super excited to keep working with you guys.